Welcome to my channel, you all. This is Monique D. Hey, I am in this video. I am about to replace this glass block window, but first I'm going to move these little sleds. And so apparently between the house and this deck-like patio structure, there were these bolts that were placed. Well, I call them bolts, but they're actually sleds. I guess to prevent the water from going in between the house and seeping into the bricks, the foundation. And so what I had to do is I had to move that out the way first. I'm kind of like setting it up because this window has been boarded up for some time now. And so I have to pry off the plywood that's there. And it was really on there. So I don't know what they use. Well, I know what they use. They use nails, but it was really on there. So I took my time and I used a crowbar and a hammer and I had to actually pry up the wood framing. So you have the concrete, which is actually from the foundation, but they framed it in. It appeared to have like a old wood window there. And so what they did was they framed it in with wood and they wanted to make sure it was secure. But when you go in the inside, clearly the plywood was not cut the entire height, because this is the window. I don't know if it was shown in my other video, but this is the window where there was about a 1/2 inch gap, which allowed water to possibly seep in the basement, allow for any insects. And so I wanted to make sure that I replace this with a glass block window before the rainy season comes and before snow comes back around. And so I had to make sure that I removed any vegetation that was there. And so right in front of this window, there's actually a root that was coming up. And so I had to kind of like get that up. But then there's plastic. And so underneath this green turf, there's plastic to keep the wood from rotting, and the plastic draped down and like looped around where this foundation was. So here, as you see, finally got that wood off. Man, it was so hot outside that the cool air coming from the basement felt like there was AC on. So here's the inside of the basement. Sorry about that, y'all. And so this is the glass block window. I originally had loose individual glass blocks, but then I found out that if I took the wood frame out, I can actually use this prefabricated side. So I had to make sure that I do a rough fit to see how much space was left. And I found out that I needed to put this 2x piece of wood back. And so here's where I'm attempting to take out all the nails to try to reuse this. But then I said, wait a minute, I have a 2x6 in my wood stash that would fit perfect. So I took a break. I went and cut the width of the window, which was 31.5 inches. I went downstairs. I found out it didn't have any nails. And so I had to get my nail gun. And from the basement, I applied that header. And so you'll see me several times in this video do a dry fit and go in the basement, then come back out, then go in the basement and come back out. And so I wanted to make sure that everything was set before I started using the mortar. Yep, the window just fell. And I found myself short on shim. So what I end up doing is I end up using a few paint sticks, which was still perfect. But for some reason, whenever I went downstairs, I was not satisfied with the amount of space that was on the inside of the window from the basement. And I'm not gonna even lie, this orange leveler, I don't even think it worked for what I was trying to do it with. But I know somebody in the comments was gonna say, did you check to see if it was level? So I was using it. But right here is where I start mixing the fast set cement. And with the fast set cement, it literally started thickening up on me real quick. And once I found out how quick it was setting up, I wanted to get like a clay-like consistency. And you'll see how I end up forming it into like a oblong shape and using that to stuff it inside of the window. And that way it can fill the gaps. Yeah, so the reason why I'm sitting on this these cardboard boxes is because it rained the day before. And like I said, underneath this green turf is plastic, and so it kind of like held the water. But right here is where I am mixing it and kind of pushing it into the gap that's along the bottom, because I think the gap was the biggest. I can't remember how deep or high or wide the gap was, but it was at least 2 inches in height. And so I had to make sure that I stuffed it. So what I did was I stuffed around the shims, aka the paint sticks. I stuffed around that. And as it started to dry, I kind of pulled the paint sticks and the shims out. And then while it was still held in place, I then went back to fill in those areas. And yeah, I'm actually using the water that's in the sleds on the side. Yep, mix. I actually ran out of this cement because I used it for the basement to waterproof the basement, and this is what I had left. And so when we were doing the basement, I asked Mark to leave me enough to put the glass block window in, and apparently I needed more than what I thought I would need. And so here's the next batch. Again, I'm going to finish. It was so deep that I wanted to make sure that I get everything from the bottom first. So I actually worked from the bottom of the window up to ensure that just in case I didn't have enough and I had to stop and wouldn't be able to finish, I wanted to make sure that had it rained that night, it would be secure. Well, I appreciate you sticking with me with this journey. If you do not know, I purchased this house. It was a hoarder's house, and so it took about 8 or 9 dumpsters to completely get it empty. And we started from the beginning and just did a demo and took the carpet out and took the wall paneling, took the plaster out, took the lap out. Then had to go through, take the insulation out. And so we've been working really hard on the inside and outside. So go ahead and watch some of those videos coming up. I do have an Amazon wish list that's going to be in the description. So you all, if you wish to contribute to the cause, you can purchase anything on the wish list to help support this project. All right, so this is the final result of the window. So this is the next day. And you can see how it dried. Let me take you on the inside so you can see how the inside look. All right, so we are in the basement, and this is the window from the inside of the basement. What they doing? Yep. So this right here is the 2x4, the 2x6 that I had to put in. Put the mortar around it.